Black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Bill Maher is out here wrecking woke arguments like it's his full-time job, and his latest target is none other than Whoopi Goldberg. Let's be real, she kind of had it coming, given her endless list of cringe statements since 2022. Maher didn't just criticize her, he dismantled her piece by piece in a takedown so brutal it left Whoopi scrambling like a cartoon character dodging anvils.
Got to get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Whoopi Goldberg poked the bear, and now she's dealing with the claws. Remember when Bill Maher shredded Sunny Hostin for twisting his words? Well, this time Whoopi stepped in like backup, coming in hot as if she was on a revenge mission. But instead of saving the day, she ended up in the middle of a fight she couldn't win.
Can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Classic Whoopi Goldberg, flipping through the woke playbook like it's her Bible. Maher was making a simple point about Black Americans wanting better jobs, a strong economy, and responsible policing. Clear, right? But Whoopi spun off into a random rant about voting for prosecutors and plans for the working class. It was like watching someone throw darts blindfolded. Nothing landed.
Down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no. It's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
Maher didn't mince words. He pointed out that Whoopi's arguments were nonsense, typical for The View. That show is the political version of a train wreck, painful to watch but impossible to look away from. Sunny and Whoopi managed to raise the chaos even higher with commentary so outrageous it made guests like Charlemagne Tagod look like they'd walked into another dimension.
Criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now.
Here's the backdrop. President Joe Biden, the no one above the law guy, just pardoned his son Hunter after being found guilty of corruption. So much for accountability. Charlemagne pointed out the hypocrisy, but Whoopi jumped in with excuses. If no one's above the law, then why does Hunter get a pass? Maher wasn't about to let that slide.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Whoopi Goldberg actually claimed that Biden didn't lie when he said no one is above the law. Really, Whoopi? There's video, audio, and probably cave paintings proving he said exactly that. Yet she still defended him like the queen of cringe she is.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out there and they stand.
Watching Whoopi lie with a straight face is like watching someone argue the sky isn't blue while standing under a cloudless sky. Her mental gymnastics could qualify her for the Olympics, but she'd still trip over her own logic. Even Charlemagne was stunned into silence when she suggested Biden just changed his mind.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit.
The woke mob only cares about justice when it doesn't involve their own side. When it's one of theirs, suddenly it's all excuses and selective amnesia. Sure, they got away with it in front of Charlemagne, But when Bill Maher got wind of their antics, he tore into them with one of his sharpest takedowns yet.
Appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden.
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't
but
follow
I mean,
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not.
Maher nailed it. The woke mob loves pretending they're the moral compass, but their double standards were exposed for all to see. Hunter Biden was guilty, period. If it were anyone else, they'd want their head on a platter. But since it's Biden's son, justice gets tossed aside. Maher's takedown was more than comedy. It was a wake-up call.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person.
The media bent over backward to downplay Hunter Biden's scandal, dismissing it as Russian disinformation while silencing dissent. Whoopi joined the chorus, scoffing at the allegations on The View. But Maher wasn't buying it. He exposed her defense as nothing more than shameless spin.
Run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office, but they do. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
The ladies of The View, especially Whoopi, don't debate, they bully. They sneer, snark, and shut down dissent. Maher called them out for what they really are, enforcers of an echo chamber where opposing opinions aren't tolerated. His takedown felt like fresh air in a room full of stale arguments.
A coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him, they certainly are those, and then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common.
Maher argues the left needs to stop crying about Trump's win and face reality. He didn't steal it or conjure it out of thin air. He won because millions of Americans preferred his message. Instead of blaming Russia, racism, or the excuse of the weak, maybe it's time for Democrats to accept democracy means sometimes the other team scores.
Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Maher hit another truth. Not every Trump voter is a die-hard MAGA fan. Many were just sick of Democrats preaching woke nonsense. When you cheer for biological men in women's sports or flirt with fringe causes, you alienate normal voters. People didn't choose Trump for his tweets. They chose him because the alternative looked even worse.